A video of a UN official sobbing over the plight of children in Gaza has become one of the many memorable images of the conflict. The clip quickly went viral, spawning dozens of newspaper articles and seemed to channel a collective sadness over the loss of life in the Gaza Strip. Christopher Gunness, spokesman for the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, was being interviewed by Al Jazeera Arabic last Wednesday about the shelling of one of the organization's schools in Gaza, in which at least 15 people died and scores were injured. The school was crammed with families who had fled their homes after warnings from the Israeli military to leave or be bombed. Mr. Gunness talked to us about the recent developments in Gaza in a future television exclusive. Have a listen.
We have, and I say we as the international community, including the UN, we have all let the people of Gaza down in a manner which I consider to be utterly shameful. And so, talking now about a bit of aid here, a bit of aid there, I think is only part of the story. We should be talking about justice and accountability. And that's why UNRWA has made a call, as have others, for an inquiry into what happened. The Human Rights Council has got a commission of inquiry which is coming to the region, because for us this is not just about some jurisprudential concept. For us this is about human dignity, and human beings deserve and must have dignity even in death, and we must restore the dignity to the people who died by at least allowing their loved ones the truth of what happened. So we must find out the truth behind every single one of these statistics, because behind every one of them is a humanity and a dignity and a destiny that needs respecting.
Mr. Gunness, the UN has condemned the series of recent attacks on its schools in Gaza, but amongst other excuses, Israel claims UNRWA has discovered rocket caches of unknown provenance in its school. And I'm quoting here the Washington Post. Can you confirm this?
We have been very proactive and transparent on 3 occasions when we found caches of weapons in schools, in UNRWA schools that have been mothballed and closed down for the summer, so they're not being used. They weren't these shelters that were being used to house people. And it was in regular inspections by our staff that we found these weapons. We immediately condemned them. I made public statements condemning the groups who did this. It was a flagrant violation of our neutrality and clearly endangered our staff and civilians, and goodness knows they've been endangered quite enough already. We've lost 11 staff members. So the idea that because weapons are found and declared by a neutral UN organization in one part of the Gaza Strip, that can somehow be used as a justification for direct hits on clearly marked UN schools notified to the Israeli army in other parts of the Gaza Strip is frankly to laugh at international law and the responsibilities of belligerent parties and their protection responsibilities towards civilians during times of war.
So you're saying Israel's shells are not justified? Am I getting
It's not
this
just
right?
me saying it. The Secretary General said it. The American State Department issued a very strongly worded statement calling this a disgraceful act, saying it was appalled. And if you look at the State Department statement, it also says that the suspicion of militants being nearby does not justify an attack endangering thousands of civilians.
You recently tweeted a sustainable ceasefire requires the end of the blockade of Gaza. Are you hopeful this will be achieved?
I mean, it breaks my heart. I can't believe it can go on. I mean, these people in Gaza, they were blockaded before, then they've been bombarded. Many of them have been made homeless. Many were killed, or multiple were killed. There were multiple deaths in UN premises. They've now gone home to find themselves, without a house to live in. I can't believe that we're all going to stand idly by and watch this crippling blockade deny them their dignity and their humanity. It seems to me that after Gaza 2014, something really has changed. Perhaps it was my crying on television which unlocked a certain international indignation. And whether that's true or not, I don't know. But I certainly think that this time round, there is a profound, visceral sense that what was there before cannot go on, and that people, simply can't be subjected to this level of indignity for any longer.
You are still there despite the heavy criticism you've been facing from Israel for standing with those Palestinians. As a UN member, what is driving you to stand up so strong for those refugees?
Well, look, it's not just me. I mean, we have 13,000 staff in Gaza who are working alongside these desperate, traumatized, dispossessed, and many of them now homeless people. And I think what motivates all of us is a profound sense of justice and of a humanitarian mission. I mean, how can you possibly allow these people who are so disadvantaged to carry on? We have to do something. There's a moral and there's a humanitarian imperative, and we will continue. That's what motivates us.